So we will get started. I know everyone in the room, but just in case we haven't met before virtually, my name is Annie. I'm here from Modo Hamilton. So I will be practicing with you this morning, kind of like chill, gentle class. So you can start on your backs and we will get ready. You're just going to start with your legs extended, arms alongside. And I know I've said this many times before that if having your legs extended like so is not comfortable for your low back, you're just going to step your feet onto the floor and then let your knees fall in toward each other. It just gives you a little more space for your lower back. So just starting here, close your eyes and then just give yourself a moment to just sort of settle in, to just drop into your breath. Just gonna see if anyone else is joining us. Perfect. So just starting to breathe in and out through your nose. Just finding a few deep belly breaths. Feeling your belly rise and expand on your inhales. And then just feeling your back body get heavier on your exhales. All right, so just letting go of any thoughts, any distractions around you. Try to clear your mind, just focusing on that rhythm of breath. Okay, and take about 3 or 4 more, just like this. And at the end of that last breath, just slowly start to wiggle your fingers, your toes. You can circle your wrists and your ankles. And start to bring your heels together at the back of the mat. Reach your arms overhead. And take an inhale. Find a full body stretch here. And exhale, relax. Beautiful. One more like that. Deep breath in. Long breath out. Okay, let's start to walk our feet over to the bottom left corner of the mat. And you're going to cross your right ankle on top. So right ankle on top. And now bring both of your hands to the top left corner of your mat. You can hold on to your right wrist. So try to root down through the backs of both of your shoulders. Just draw your chin away from the chest so the back of the neck is long. So ideally you're feeling this through that right side. Depending on how tight you are, you might feel this maybe from your elbow or your wrist all the way down to your hip. It's a good one to just really gently open up the intercostal muscles, the muscles between our ribs. And try to keep your breath really deep here, really consistent. You're always finding the top of the inhale. Always looking for the bottom of the exhale. Okay, take about 3 more here. And at the end of the third, just come back through center and then head right into the opposite side. So feet to bottom right corner, left ankle on top, hands to top right corner, hold on to your left wrist. And just keep in mind here that you can modify this if you need to. If you have really tight shoulders and you feel like your shoulders are sort of crunched up toward your ears, bend the elbows a bit. You can also do this with just your left arm reaching up and over. You can always bring that right arm alongside. And if it doesn't feel good with your left ankle crossed over, just uncross it. So you always want to put your body in a position that feels good for you. You're not being forceful in any way. You're not putting yourself into a position of pain. Maybe some slight discomfort, but never anything that's painful or sharp feeling. Again, do about 3 or 4 more breaths here. And at the end of that last breath, come back through center. Let's take one more full body stretch just because it feels so good. Point the toes, inhale, reach through the fingers, reach through the toes. And exhale, relax all of your muscles. And bring the feet onto the floor. Draw the knees in toward the chest. Arms wrap around the shins and give yourself a squeeze here. And try to root down through your lower back as you just gently hug your thighs in. So feel that compression between your thighs and your stomach. And a little rocking side to side. Good, and now let's keep our right knee in. Your left leg is going to extend, but instead of extending it all the way, you're just going to step your foot down onto the mat. So you still want a good amount of space between your left foot and your left hip. Rooting down through the low back and just gently drawing that right leg in. Not here for too long. You know, I always start most of my more gentle classes with this wind relieving pose. Just feel like it's a nice sort of slow wake up for the hips, for the low back. You can stay like this if you like, or start to extend that left leg out completely. And if you feel like going further or just finding a bit more movement, you can trace circles through your right hip, your right thigh. And just staying connected with your breath here. All right, let's bring that left knee in. Arms around both of the shins. Give yourself a squeeze, just a little reset. And left knee in. Again, step the right foot down onto the floor, so don't extend it quite yet. And press into the low back. And try to squeeze that left leg in on your exhales. So you're always going deeper into the pose on the breath out. And again, you're welcome to stay like that, or right leg goes long. A little more movement maybe for the last 3 or 4 breaths. So wake up that left side. And the end of the last breath, right knee comes in, arms around the shins. Find that gentle squeeze. Now you're going to bring your hands just sort of onto your knees or onto your shins, whatever feels comfortable. And we're going to do this on the breath. So on your inhale, start to bring your knees, your thighs out nice and wide. And then on the exhale, draw them back toward each other. Good, so inhale, knees and thighs come wide. Feel that in your inner thighs. Exhale, bring them back together. About 3 more like that. Breathing in. Breathing out. Last 2, inhale. Exhale. And one more here. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And wrap your arms right around the shins. Start to lift your head. Curl your chin to your chest. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze here. Deep breath in. And on the breath out, lower your head, lower your feet. And you can sway the knees side to side if you like. And now just walk your feet so they are about mat distance apart. We're just going to come into a little twist before we come onto our front. So with your feet mat distance, let both of your knees fall over to the right. Tee your arms out, or you can take sort of cactus arms with bending your elbows. And then you're just going to turn your gaze to the left side. So if you're kind of locked up through the hips, the low back, and your knees or your thighs are sort of far away from the floor, you can slide cushions underneath them or blocks if you have blocks. You can prop yourself up as much as you need to here. But we do really want to make sure that the shoulders are heavy. So both of your shoulders are rooted into the mat, and you're taking really deep belly breaths here. Okay, draw the abs in. Bring your knees back through center, and then just head right into the opposite side. So knees fall left. Gaze comes right this time. And if you are tight through the neck, if the gazing right doesn't feel good, just bring your gaze up to the ceiling. So again, just modify as much as you need to make this accessible, to make all the poses accessible for yourself. And try to really breathe into the lowest part of your belly here. So you're filling up completely, and you're emptying completely. Good, abs are engaged, knees come back through center, and then just a little rocking motion side to side, just reset. You can take either arm overhead, roll onto that side, and then when you are ready, we will come onto our fronts into a wide-legged child's pose. So onto your front into a child's pose. Again, if you need to prop yourself up with something, a cushion, a block, a bolster under your hips or your chest or your forehead, always welcome to do that. So hands walk forward, forehead is rooted. I'm just going to keep my head lifted so you can hear me. So walking the fingertips toward the top edge of the mat, press your hips back and down. You want to feel your chest sort of melt into the floor. And if you need to bend your elbows a bit, you're welcome to do that. Think about every inhale, your arms are getting longer. Every exhale, your hips are sinking further back to your heels. Now we're going to get into the backs of our upper arms here, so our triceps and our underarms. So again, your head is going to stay down, but I'm going to keep mine up so you can hear me. So from here, you're just going to lift your hands and your forearms, and then your hands are sort of in a prayer position, and they're going to come right to the back of your head. So hands are at the back of your head. Your elbows are rooted here, and without moving your elbows, start to drag your elbows toward your knees. So as you do that, you should feel that nice deep stretch in your triceps, maybe a bit in your underarms. And smooth out your breathing here. Good. Lower your hands back to the floor. Spread your fingers wide. Press into your hands and now come forward into a tabletop position. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Good. Spread the fingers out wide. Take an inhale. Let your belly drop down. Start to arch through your back. Lift the chest, lift the gaze, lift the chin. And exhale. Press into your hands. Drop the tailbone. Round your spine. Press up right between your shoulder blades. Good. Inhale. Belly drops, scooping through your lower back. Lift up. And exhale, round it out. Good. Do about 3 more here. Good. Come back to a neutral spine. And now from here, I'm just going to stay in tabletop and we're going to head into a low lunge. So a little more lower body, then we're going to do some upper body stuff to finish. So let's step our left foot forward. So left foot is forward between the hands. You maybe need to wiggle your right knee back a bit. You can untuck the toes. If you have knee sensitivity, you can roll your mat over and then just create a bit of a cushion for yourself underneath your knee, or a pillow works well also. So you can start with your hands framing the right foot here, or the left foot rather. The left hip gently draws back, right hip presses forward, and then you're just gently sending the front of your right hip forward and down toward the mat. We're just here for a few breaths. And then let's take the hands to the top of that left thigh as you draw your shoulders back. Okay, just gently drawing the shoulders back. Have to adjust my camera for the next class. I just bought like a webcam on a tripod, so still trying to figure out the best angle for our classes. All right, and from here, just take your hands down to the mat, and you're just gonna rock your hips back, coming into that nice hamstring stretch. So you'll see my leg is straight. Yours doesn't have to look like that, especially if you're super tight in your hamstrings. You're gonna wanna take a bend in your knee, and then you're just sort of gently folding over. And if you wanna sit back onto your right heel, you can do that. If you wanna sit onto a block or a pillow. But again, we're not here for too long, just about 3 or 4 breaths. Just waking up the lower body, preparing for the day. All right, walk yourself forward, and then just however you want to get there, come back to table, rock the hips side to side, and then right foot forward. So right back into that low lunge. Good, and just keeping that breath fluid, gently pressing the front of your left hip forward and down toward the mat. Good, hands to the right thigh, and then just draw those shoulders back. About 3 more here. End of the third. Again, hands come back down to frame that right foot, and then just rock the hips back. Again, find that hamstring stretch. My right hamstring is super tight for some reason this morning, so I'm going to keep a bend in the knee. And you always want your toes to be curled back to the face, so foot is flexed. That's just going to give you a bit of a deeper stretch. You should feel that down through your calf as well. All right, let's walk those hands forward. Again, however you want to get there, come to a tabletop. If you want, you're welcome to pop into a downward facing dog. Just walk that one out. Whenever you are ready, bring your knees down to the floor. Find a seated position. So a little bit of upper body before we finish. I really have to get used to looking up at the camera. I've been teaching to my laptop webcam for almost a year now, so it's a little bit of a learning curve. So I apologize if it looks like I'm staring off into space. So just a comfortable seated position, however you like. You can bring your hands onto your knees if you're cross-legged, and you're just going to drop your chin down to your chest, relax your shoulders, and just start to slowly and gently rock your head side to side. Just try to feel your neck, feel the tops of your shoulders. If you work at a desk, you might really, really feel this one. And left ear stays at the left shoulder. Extend the right arm away from the body. Good. And you can play around with the position of the chin. I feel this more deeply when I sort of bring my chin closer down toward my chest or toward the top of my shoulder. You can also rotate your opposite palm up, or you can rotate it backward, whatever feels best. And bring that right arm back in, and then just change sides. So right ear to right shoulder, left arm away. And if you are really tight through that left side, you feel like you need a little more support, take your right hand, so index and middle finger, and then just let your sort of temple rest onto your finger. So you're just creating a bit of a support for the head. Just a couple more breaths here. And back through center. One more time, just gently rocking the head side to side. All right, roll those shoulders back. So this one, you're just going to take your right arm underneath your left. So this is eagle arms. You're binding your forearms and bringing your palms together. So from the side, looks like this. If you can't do that, if it's not accessible, you're just going to hold on to your opposite shoulders. So again, it's right arm under left, and then just crossing at the forearms or holding on to shoulders. So whatever one you're doing, I'm just going to turn to the side so you can see your elbows are shoulder height, and then you're sort of pressing your elbows away from your body. So you want to feel this right between your shoulder blades. So in a regular yoga class, we'd be standing, have your arms like this, and then you have your legs crossed as well. So this is called eagle pose or Garudasana. So a good stretch for that space right between your shoulder blades. If you like, if it feels good, you can round forward a bit. And slowly rise up. Unwind your arms. If you want, you can reach your arms up overhead. Just take a quick stretch. And then you will bring your left arm underneath. So again, you're either holding onto your shoulders or crossing at your forearms and your wrists. And try to keep a tall spine just for the first few breaths. Squeeze the forearms together. Lift those elbows about shoulder height. And then maybe you start to gently round forward. Good, rise up. Unwind the arms, reach the arms up overhead. Take an inhale, nice big stretch here. And then exhale, just let your arms fall alongside. You can roll your shoulders up to your ears and down your back. Do that a couple more times. And then one last stretch before we come onto our backs. So just a counter pose of what we were just doing. You're going to take your hands behind you, interlace them, and then just start to press the knuckles, excuse me, to the wall behind you. And then you're just drawing your shoulders back, opening your chest. So just getting that stretch across the front of the body. A few deep breaths here. And let that go. One more roll of your shoulders, and then start to make your way down onto your back. You're going to plant your feet onto the floor, and then just start to walk the soles of your feet together. Let your knees fall open here. You're going to take your right hand to your stomach and your left hand to your chest. Just give your shoulder blades a little tuck underneath. Good. Close your eyes here. Just focusing on your breathing. Good. And now from here, start to extend your legs. Bring your arms alongside, let your palms turn up toward the ceiling, tuck your shoulders under. Make any final adjustments so you can find some stillness here. Just feeling your breath return to its natural rhythm, its natural pace. So this is where I leave you this morning. Once you decide to get up from your mat, just try to move slowly, roll to one side, and then press yourself up from there. Thank you for waking up with me and joining me on your mats. It's nice to see you all virtually, and I will be back tomorrow morning. Normally I do it, the second day is like a more active class, but I will be doing another sort of chill stretching class again tomorrow. So hopefully I'll see some of you. If you ever have any questions about anything yoga related, please feel free to reach out. More than happy to connect, and I hope you have a wonderful start to your Tuesday. Namaste.
Thanks a lot, Annie. See you tomorrow.
You're welcome. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
No problem. Bye.